Here's the last thing I wanted to talk about, because this came out a couple of days ago, where basically the Nets ownership is finally saying, listen, we suck. We need to accept the fact that we suck, and we might go into a full-on rebuild, which they did, man, I think it was over 10 years ago, and then they traded everyone for, well, this was way over 10 years ago, man, I'm getting old. They traded everyone for Kevin Garnett. I said 10 years ago. This shit was like 15 years ago, maybe longer. They traded everyone for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, and that imploded. They ended up being the worst team in the NBA, and the Boston Celtics had their first-round pick like 2 years in a row, which was just funny to watch the Boston Celtics be contenders and have the first pick in the draft. They traded that to us for the Markelle Fultz, Jason Tatum thing. Let's not even go there. And then the Nets rebuilt again. And then they built another solid roster full of role players. And they signed Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving out of free agency. And they could have ran with that and had Jared Allen and Karis LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie and a bunch of good role guys to try to take those 2 stars and go win. But they didn't. They traded everybody and 7, count them, 4 first and 3 pick swaps for James Harden, who just gained 30 pounds the year before on purpose to get out of Houston. And they imploded their franchise again. Now, they're watching not only Kyrie Irving probably go to the NBA Finals, which is amazing to watch, so much fun, love it, I'm rooting for him. Please, Kyrie versus Boston. I need Kyrie Irving to take out the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals. It would just be a beautiful story. Anyway, the Nets now are going on a third rebuild, and ownership said the franchise is at a crossroads. You don't say, Joe Tsai. Tsai mentioned Brooklyn's roster will be revamped this offseason to compete in the long run rather than win immediately. Maybe he realizes that signing James Harden or trading all the picks for a player like James Harden isn't the right move. I mean, let's be serious. Look at the guy. Has he ever dribbled a basketball in his life? Absolutely not. He doesn't know what he's doing. Not that the Sixers ownership does. We're one of 3 or 4 ownership groups in the NBA that have no fucking clue what they're doing ever and always do the wrong thing. But the Nets are in the same boat as us, okay? And the Knicks are there too, Knicks fans. Haha, you're there too. You're one of us also, okay? So we can all be in a rehab meeting arguing over who's the biggest drug addict. We're all in the meeting. Tsai wants to take a long-term approach and build a sustainable winner. Wow. It's just taken these guys so many years to figure out that this is what you need to do. Teams are finally watching the Denver Nuggets and et cetera, and finally trying not to go all in for 3 superstars, except for Daryl Morey. But anyway, with the Rockets reportedly willing to offer back their future picks in exchange for the Suns' selections, Brooklyn certainly appears ready to pivot towards a full-scale rebuild. If the Nets decide to go in this direction, Mikal Bridges and others could become available on the trade market. Now, don't forget, the Brooklyn Nets turned down reportedly 4 first-round picks and why can't I think of names today, man? What's his name in Houston? The young dude that they almost traded who was really, really good this year. Anyway, the Nets turned down that for Mikal Bridges, reportedly, and now I think they're going to accept the fact that they need to trade him, and he could be available for less than that. I think they're going to have to accept the fact that they're not going to get that level of offer again. He could be available for less than that. And so I just went on the internet, and I said, you know what, 76ers Mikal Bridges mock trade. I think I did one of these last week or 2 weeks ago. But anyway, look at this one, man. Let's say the 76ers do go, let's say the Nets do go into a full rebuild, and they offer up Mikal Bridges. Here's a mock trade from Fan Nation at SportsIllustrated.com. The Sixers trade Ricky Council, Terquavian Smith, 2022 first-round pick, 16th overall, and 2026 first-round pick via OKC, Houston, or Clippers. Worst of the 3. It was a pick swap between somebody somewhere. I forget. Don't even know. But either way, and the Sixers receive Mikal Bridges. As much as I love Ricky Council, we got to be realistic. We got to talk about, the things the fact that he got 0 playoff minutes this season under Nick Nurse. The fact that Daryl Morey said something stupid about, even in your second year, you might not play in the playoff. Like, we got to be realistic. As much as we think Ricky Council could be a good role player and have a potential moving forward, he would be, if he's what gets you Mikal Bridges, 100% trade him. And I love Ricky Council, but if Ricky Council is what gets you Mikal Bridges, yes, trade him. And then he'll go to another team and become inevitably an NBA superstar, because why wouldn't he? But I would say yes to this trade. I actually don't think this is enough. I don't think this trade gets you Mikal Bridges. I think there's other teams that could offer the Nets way more than this. What you would have to probably give up in this trade is the 2028 unprotected Clippers pick. And that is one that has, like I say all the time, a crazy amount of value, because the Clippers will be probably underneath of the basement by 2028, and it might be the number 1 pick in the draft. And it could be a generational player who changes your franchise forever, but that's a big if anyway. It's not like the Sixers draft well. So what I'm saying is, I don't think this would be enough. I think you'd have to throw in DeAnthony Melton. I think you'd have to throw in probably the 2028 unprotected first. And I'd still say yes to it. I think that's the Sixers' perfect offseason. Just right now, a month away from the draft and free agency, I think the Sixers' perfect offseason to save everything and have me and the rest of Philadelphia be on Daryl Morey's good side and be excited for the upcoming season. He signs Paul George to a 4-year max contract. The last 2 years are a team option. I don't think that would happen, but that would be amazing. So you could say, hey, listen, man, if you're washed, we get to get rid of you and not pay you. And then they trade Ricky Council, Terquavion Smith, and 3 first-round picks, including the 2028 unprotected, for Mikal Bridges. And I know a lot of people on YouTube that hit me in the comments and in the chat. Anytime you say 3 first-round picks for a player, they say, whoa, it's way too much. Anytime you say $200 million for a player, that's way too much. But you got to give things to get things, man. And that's what Mikal Bridges would take. And you got, you guys that tell me this is too much and that's too much and that's too much are the same ones that are telling me trade for Lauri Markkanen, and you don't even have enough to get a guy like that. I don't want to give up the 2028 pick because I think it could be huge for the franchise. But if you have a chance of coming back next season with as weak as the Eastern Conference looked this season, if you have a chance to come back next year with Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Mikal Bridges, how could you say no to that?